All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, like well, praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, by Shem, Yahushai, by Shem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, to all the saints rocking out there, pressing the truth and sincerity. You know, the brother wanted to go over the lesson of, concerning the flesh. So, I'll let you take charge.
Yeah. Shema Ya'ala. We're going to start off with Romans chapter 8, verse 5. And it reads, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh."
Right, and hey, they that walketh after the flesh mind the things of the flesh, Hey, and that's 2/3 of the nation of Israel. They walk after the flesh, They don't retain the Most High in their knowledge and their thoughts, Go ahead.
It says, "But they that are after the Spirit are the things of the Spirit."
Right, and who are they that walketh after the Spirit? That's the men who are constantly in the scriptures, constantly meditating on His word, because what it say in John, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are truth. To roughly paraphrase, this word is the spirit.
Verse 6 it says, "For to be carnally minded is death."
Right, to be carnally minded is death. To be consumed into the ways of this world. To mold yourself into the fashion of this world. Scripture say, "Be in the world, but not of the world." You gotta still mind the things of the spirit. And walk after the spirit, not after the flesh. Your own lustful desires, which I believe the scripture is gonna say.
It says, "But to be spiritually minded is life and peace."
Right. Life and peace. Go ahead. You was gonna say something?
I was gonna just say, just like what you were just saying, to be spiritually minded is life and peace. It's actually, that's when you're truly living. Before then you're just existing, and you exist in a world, a carnal world, in which you are, living your daily life, going after the things of the flesh. Verse 7 it says, "Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High." Yes, you can't bring something that is unholy into holy.
Right.
Roughly paraphrasing.
What? Yeah, you're right. Because hey, the scripture would say in Romans 12:12. Matter of fact,
Grab it.
It said, "I beseech you, therefore, brethren, under the mercies of Yahweh, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice." And in order to present your body a living sacrifice, when you go back to the law, you couldn't just come any kind of way. There's certain precautions that you had to go into. You couldn't come into the temple, any kind of way. And speed it up to today. Hey, we are that temple. So it's a certain way we got to conduct ourselves. That you, under the mercies of Yahweh, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. And that's us going out to the highways. Actually putting like Elder Malcolm always say, putting our freedom and lives on the line to do so. Presenting our body a living sacrifice.
We can't sacrifice on that altar, being like you said, because the sacrifice has to be pure.
Right.
We
just reading Maccabees, how they was profaning the temple, sacrificing swine's flesh, abominable things. Hey, you sacrifice them abominable things, hey, the Lord gonna kill you, So you got to make sure your sacrifice, hey, it be holy.
Yeah, it's worthy. Yeah, make sure that sacrifice is a worthy sacrifice.
Hey, and how do you do that? Hey, you got that studying, researching, being in the spirit,
God. I'm gonna read it again. This is verse 7 says, "Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be."
Right, it's not subject unto the law of the Most High, neither can be. Because hey, within that comes pride, self-will. All these worldly traits. And you can't hear the Most High if you caught in yourself.
Verse 8 it says, "So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High."
Right, because like she just said, hey, you self-willed, you know? You're proud. You know, you ever try to talk to a hard-headed, stubborn person? Ain't no getting through to them.
At all.
You know?
At all. And then with that, I'm gonna start at one second. Let's go to Galatians. We're gonna go to Galatians chapter 5, because this actually is gonna go into everything we were just bringing out, but put it in more perspective through scriptures. Galatians chapter 5, verse 16, it says, "This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth." It's like you want to go and grab it in there in Galatians. Yeah,
15.
Yeah, I was reading the scriptures, my scriptures, but we're going off that. We need to start over. Salakia. This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 15. Verse 16, it says, "This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth after the Spirit." Salakia. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh.
Right, because, hey, like I said, the flesh lusted against the Spirit, you know? The flesh is always trying to hold you back, you know, prevent you from meditating on the Spirit. Because hey, if you ain't careful, the world can overtake you. You know, just throw that out there.
Mm-hmm. It says, "And these are contrary, the one to another, to the other, Salakia, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would."
Right. Hey, so you members constantly at war with each other.
Slowing you down, putting that roadblock, trying to fight against the righteousness, that righteous path that the Lord is trying to send you on. It says, and that's another reason why we always say, please don't take your spirit away from us. Keep your spirit on us, because we know that spirit, guys, is roughly paraphrasing from Psalm 51. Matter of fact, yeah.
Matter of fact, let me
pull it out real quick.
No, I'm finna grab that Romans 7.
That
actually go right what you said. This is Romans chapter 7, verse 13. Matter of fact, what I say, 13, 15. It's Romans. 14. 7, 14. "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal and sold under sin." You know.
Mm-hmm. You can go on 15.
It says, that which I do allow not, for I would that I do not. But what I hate, I do. For then, if I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that is good. Now it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I know that in me it is my flesh, dwelleth not no good thing. For the will of the present, the will is presently with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. You know, so you got to constantly, war against your flesh. You know, warring against your members to put the flesh in subjection. You know, and be to be spiritually minded. You know,
mm-hmm.
Because also if you got your mind, your heart, your mind, your lob isn't and focus on the scriptures, you're gonna do that which is of this of the scriptures.
This is Galatians 5:18. It says, "But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law," as you just said through the Spirit. Verse 19, it says, "Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication."
And we're seeing adultery at an all-time high. They're promoting adultery in the news and in the media, like it's okay.
We was just watching a video on a guy. It was 3 guys and a woman. They were talking about their different experiences with this woman. That's going completely off.
Okay.
And they were all of Northern Kingdom, by the way. So I noticed that.
Hey.
Yeah. From the woman to the three men look like.
Wickedness is at an all-time high.
Mm-hmm. Not saying that it's not. It's happening through all Israel, but this is what I noticed. But where we at?
Fornication, uncleanness, lavishness.
Mm-hmm. You go ahead.
You know, what is that? Adultery, witchcraft, hatred, variances. You know, what's that? Emulations, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies. You know, we're seeing all these things manifest themselves now. You know, hey, when we just talking about, you know, hey, we are in the end. You know, we're in the end time. You know, we're seeing these things unfold, and you know now we're seeing it and lightly, but hey, every day it's getting worse and worse. You know, we're eventually, you know, it's gonna be far worse than it is now. You know,
Something like worse. It's gonna continue.
that's right, because we are about to enter into the time such as never seen the man. You know, the time of Jacob's trouble.
Verse 20, idolatry, witchcraft. And we see that all the time.
God.
Hatred, variances, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies.
You know, you see the say wrath. You know, the anger, strife. You know, the seditions. You know, the people. Yeah, you see people rising against the government, rising against each other. You know, sedition among men. You know, heresies. You know, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revilings, such as like of like such as like of a day. It's like of the. Go ahead.
21.
Yeah,
Yeah. This Galatians 5 verse 21, and it reads. It says envyings. So like envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I also told you in the past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
Right, because they're walking after the way of the flesh. You know.
Matter of fact, we can continue on through that whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna bring up what the spirit is too.
Yeah. Which, like I was just saying, you know, they walking after the flesh. They're not minding the things of the spirit, you know. So, while they're doing that, you know,
Yeah, we need to be doing this.
yeah, right. They need to be their mind on the scriptures. Hey, that's why 2/3 of the nation of Israel, they're gonna die on this side, you know.
Verse 22, it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such that there is no law."
Right. So, if you're in the spirit, like I read that part again, because it's giving you the attributes of the spirit and the things that should be applying to you, you know, as far as the fruits, you know, what you should be pushing off, you know, in righteousness' sake.
It says on verse 22, Galatians 5 verse 22, it reads, it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love."
Hey, and then when it say love, you know, hey, that ain't talking about all of a sudden, let's hug, let's you know, make friends. No, hey, love come with a harsh, you know, rebuke. You know, when you know, we love on our kids. Hey, we still, you do something wrong, I'm gonna correct you, and I'm gonna put that fire to you, that heat to you, to get you right. You know, that's love.
God.
It ain't, you know, these kids nowadays, you know, they don't get no you know, spankings and everything just fine and dandy. No.
And you know, I was gonna bring this up at camp the other day too. We talk about these other camps and these leaders, and the fact of the matter, like they have these unity camps, and nobody's rebuking the false teachings that they're bringing out, and that shows they really don't have no love in their heart. Because brother, for me to love you, I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna pass on false doctrines. You know, that's not love. You know, and you're starting to see with these other camps and these leaders that they don't really have that love like they truly think they do. Because if they did, they'll be preaching the right doctrine, which is the real truth of the spirit, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
First off, they don't have fear, you know, because and like I said, that's why I said study to show thyself approved. You know, you want to study and be in the scriptures, you know, because you got guys who you know, out here pushing for their own gain's sake, you know, trying to heap up members for themselves, you know, whatever ulterior motive they may have, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like I said, the scriptures say, hey, he the Father loved it, he corrected, and that's why we're getting, you know, so much hell put on us. You know, that long suffering, which is gonna say,
Yeah, I actually like this verse 24 of Galatians 5. It says, "And they that are in Hamashiach Yahushai have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts." You know, we've put off that old man. Roughly paraphrasing, we put off that old man, and we put on the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has come into us. I don't say we put it on, but it's come into us to guide us. You know.
We put off the cares of this life. You know? And we took that oath, you know, to follow after Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like brother said, hey, we put off that old man, you know, and we put on righteousness. You know?
It says, verse 25. It says, "If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous in vain." Desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another.
Right. You know, it says desiring vainglory, which we just discussing, and which a lot of these guys do, vainglory. You know.
Go back to those leaders. What they're really in. They're not in this for the right reasons.
Provoking one another, envying one another. You know, causing
division, and preaching another doctrine.
Right.
Preach another doctrine. So I mean, I don't know. So,
you know, hey, but so hey, continue. I say to you brothers, hey, you sincere brothers, you know, hey, you know, hopefully this video was edifying. You know, continue. You know, meditating on these scriptures. You know, constantly. You know, as much as you can. You know. Hey, hard times are coming. So with that, you know, all praise to Yahweh,
B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakam
the bonus to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and to all you sincere out there pressing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.